Hey everybody, Texas Stroke here, Lance, the Performance Shop along StarMobiles.com. It is late, it is Friday night, Saturday morning, whatever you want to call it, 1:25 a.m. You can probably see that down in the corner of the screen. Anyway, got stuck at work really late. A Freightliner ran about 2 hours late, and it was something that had to ship, so yours truly was manning the forklift. But that's how things go. Came home, had some pizza. Everything I wanted to do online was crashed, and here I am now. So, given the slow internet, I kind of need to get this done, so there's a chance you can see it this morning at 9. Now, that said, we are on KC Tool, and for good reason. If you recall, not long ago, we did the What's New in German Tools, and that seemed to go over fairly well. This isn't necessarily going to be what's new in German Tools. This is going to be what's on sale in German Tools. That's right. You can see we just clicked the drop-down arrow by shop. Now, something important. The first thing listed in what they call the spotlight is tool of the day. This typically, sometimes you have to wait close to 2 a.m. You can F5 refresh, see if it comes up. But a lot of times people complain to me and they say, hey, I really want a tool of the day, but it was sold out. It was out of stock. That doesn't matter. Granted, if you buy it now, you have a really good chance of when they show up to work Monday of having it shipped out. But you could come in at 11:50 every single night and pick up tool of the day, even when it's out of stock, and you still get it for that price. The catch is you just have to wait. So keep that in mind. There's also some stuff I like to keep tabs on. This is where you find new arrivals. You can also see sale and clearance, but the brand new one that's highlighted right here is the holiday sale. Now, we're going to click this. I'm going to run through it as quick as I can, and then I encourage you to stay around or skip ahead if you're lazy to the end of the video, because we'll have some special insider information there for you maybe. So anyway, holiday sale. Let's see what we've got. Now, the good news is this is 2 pages. Don't forget the second page. You can see it right there. But I'm not just speaking on a lot of these from what I think of the deal or anything along those lines. I have an awful lot of these, and I've used an awful lot of these, so I can kind of give you some real-world feedback there, right? Now, right here, we get started with 2 of Vera's tool checks. These are very, very popular, especially like with bike riders. It's a great deal for your glove box. It's sort of like an expansion on your basic set. Think of it as like a quarter drive get up. Why are there 2? Well, there's 1 metric and 1 SAE. So whether this is going in your old car, something brand new, in your motorcycle, whatever, they've got you covered. It typically includes, the bit ratchet and adapter, all sorts of myriad of bits, probably more than you would need for that application, and of course some sockets. So at $90, it's sitting there at 33% off. It's a pretty good buy, particularly if you've been on the fence. Next up, right here, you have Veeha's color-coded 6-inch magnetic nut setters. There's going to be 2 things you need to know about this. 1, you should buy it. And 2, the only reason you shouldn't buy it is if everything you do is metric. That's not denoted right here. If we clicked and went to the product page, it would be. But these are all SAE sizes, right? So for me personally, where do I get the most use out of these? Around the house, it's when I do anything with the fence. Of course, where I live, there's really, really strong wind, and you fight it in the spring and the winter. It's just depends which direction the fence is going to blow over on. But I shoot a lot of lag screws through. If you do deck work, if you do anything along those lines, it's awesome. Recently, which it may or may not appear in a tool haul, but I've picked up another blue one. You can now buy these individually. That used to be a big thing. Number 1, people always want metric added, which they've yet to do. But then number 2, a lot of people were like, hey, I've worn this one out, or I lost this one. Somebody ran off with this size. I need just that. I don't want to buy the full set. You can now buy these individually. So what I did right here, the blue one, that would be 3/8, which I think translates to a number 14. And at work, there's 1 product we make. And when I go in and make it, the last thing I have to do is drive in 8 number 14 by 1 1/4 inch hex tech screws. They're stainless, but the magnet works just fine on them. It's not as strong. The magnets are very, very strong with anything non-stainless, of course. And absolutely love them. If you do anything with a fence or a deck, I guess would be even worse because you would be working vertically. That's a must-buy, 0 questions asked right there. Now, I will say this. These have been included in Veeha's big deal, and you typically would see a little bit more than 25% off. but still, that's a pretty good chunk off. You're getting 6 of them. And again, if it's a deal where you're not sure about the price because you're like, oh, I'd never use, the little sizes or the biggest size, go in and see what size you use. If you drive in 10s and 14s all the time, buy them individually. You save more with the set, but if you're never going to use 4 of them, get the 2 that you use. Fantastic product. Cannot recommend it enough. And that's, of course, why people want to see it in metric. So coming up next, we've got 2. We're going to go here and here. We've got the Knipex Cobra, right? These are awesome. Price point, not really, be smart, pay attention. You can see you get 33% off, 25% off, which those are huge savings. Right here, though, you'll note there's not really a percentage off. And, don't just go shop happy here. Maybe wait, maybe see if you can get it on tool of the day. Of course, most people, if you do anything German-related, you probably got the Cobras already. Now, the question is, did you buy 7s? Did you buy 12s? Did you get the minis? Did you get the 5-inch Cobras? That's where this could become an issue. And again, always price this out depending on the handle styles you prefer. But again, note, this is not like a special price right there. So be aware of that. Now, this right here is, and where these used to be called the mini Cobras, I guess we can't really do that anymore because there's the smaller Cobras that don't even have the textured grip. Which, yes, I do have those. Haven't released the video yet. But these are fantastic. These are one of the most handy things you can have, in my opinion. I'm using it all the time. I find uses for it. A, just where this doesn't fit. B, simple things, like the my air compressor drain, for example, is always sticking, and it's knurled on the edges. You can't really turn it, especially with my thumb sometimes. And this gets the job done. So that is a great pickup. I would definitely recommend it. Even if it's your first ever set of Cobras, buy the little guys, see how useful they are, and then say, hey, I want a bigger size. Wait for them to go on sale, wait for a promotion, whatever you need to do, but cannot recommend those enough. Now, up next, this is what they consider the James Bond screwdriver. I plan to do a shootout on these, kind of a comparison between a couple of them. It's a great piece, particularly if you're a Vera fan, particularly if it's a green and black thing is like your color scheme. The pouches are kind of funky if you're not used to them, but they actually work really well. And the catch, the sort of selling point on this one, number 1, you've got your bit access there. But number 2, this shoots out, right? So that's kind of a cool thing. I think that's where the James Bond sort of comes from. But not a bad little setup. And again, 33% off. Big thing with these, they make great gifts. That's really one of the big highlights there. Right here, this is NWS's Fantastico, right? This is sort of their high leverage, sort of aligned with Knipex Super Cutters and Veeha's Bi-Cuts with the power button, right? Fantastic purchase. If you do not have either, the Knipex are extremely expensive in my opinion. As much as I like them, they're just super, super high. You get like 3 to 4 sets of the Veehas if you get them on the right price. You could get almost 3 of these. And if you have never owned a set of NWS pliers, buy these. Why do I tell you that? Number 1, they're great for cutting. I'm talking like weird stuff, nails, chain, whatever. And then the flip side of it is you get to experience their handle. Not just the sci-fi looks, but it's actually extremely comfortable. And that can sort of become your like gateway to the wonderful world of NWS pliers. So I would be interested in that one. Again, yes, tool of the day, you'll get it a little cheaper than that probably. But, if you're coming in swinging for the fences here, pretty good acquisition. Right here, the Veeha. This is, there's a similar set to this. It doesn't have the updated color schemes that actually cost more. And it was tool of the day recently. This has also frequently been on, and I say frequently because I'm talking like once or twice a year, type of a thing. Not just once in a blue moon, but like fairly regularly. You can find it on Veeha's Big Deal, which would probably be cheaper than that. This is also a great gift. It's also great for you if you don't have it. I think I own 3 or 4 of these at this point in time. And that seems like overkill. It's really not. One of them stays in my desk at work, so I don't have to always bring one with me. One of them stays in my impact bag, which I sometimes have to bring to work. I've got another one, of course, in the shop, and then I think I've got one in the box in the truck. It's essentially a bit ratchet. It replaces a stubby. It has a host of bits. You can obviously pull and swap them out, whatever you want to. You've got an extension. Very, very nice, super compact, and it is a metal case. That's actually important to denote. So I would recommend that as well. Right here, these scissors, shears. And I have a history. So this is something I brought in a long time ago. And the most memorable thing I've done with these is not anything electrical or cable or anything. It's gauze. When my thumb got pulled into the bandsaw, there was 2 times. The first time from the ER, and the second time is something that the hand specialist guy did, which I got home. It was like a 20-minute drive, and I mean, I got back to the house. I had to unwrap what he did, the outer of it. I thought like I was going to lose my thumb due to lack of circulation. But I don't really know what it was called, but it's some like a ridiculously sticky medical crud. And when you have that placed sloppily over stitches, it's hard to get that off. And ultimately, what I did to get it off, alcohol to sterilize these, and just a lot of careful trimming, and they actually worked really well. I couldn't get regular scissors to do it. Knife is kind of a little on the risky side, and these were literal lifesavers. I spent probably an hour and 20 minutes and right in front of the sink with alcohol and these shears, and I eventually got my stitches freed from that mess that they put around me. So at this price point, these are a steal. They work for stupid, crazy, off-the-wall stuff like that. They work really well with cable, and then just general purpose stuff, like opening packaging, blister packs, things like that that you wouldn't even think of often. They are well worth the $21.75. Up next is the micro bit ratchet set. This is probably really, really good if you do electronics or RC cars. I've got a lot of friends getting like hardcore into RC racing. I guess like sign of the times with the economy, right? But it's a really good buy, 52% off. Anything over 40, especially 50% off, is a great time to acquire it. I don't actually have this set. It looks to be a metal case, just like our bit box up there. My advice to you, compare those two, see what you like. The catch here, what's beneficial, you get an ESD handle. That's what that yellow is going to indicate, and you also get the extension. Now, if you're not going to use like the nut drivers or some of the specialty bits that are in there, you can acquire yourself a really nice Veeha ESD driver handle or just System 4 type of a handle, plus the extended shaft, and well within the $20 range. So pay attention to the contents of each. If you use this, get it. If not, go that route and pick out your, specialty driver, if you will. Coming in next, we're to Vera, and we've got the 9-piece multicolor ball end hex SAE set. $38.99. That's 33% off. This is a great deal. I've used these quite a bit. I have a ton of hex keys, and I honestly do alternate them. I've had zero issues when I've used these. I have an awful lot of you, which y'all tend to like these in terms of their performance, but you get really mad at the plastic, which I kind of like. But the issue that a lot of you report to me is that the plastic wears off. I personally haven't had that happen. I'm not using them in like an extreme environment either. But that is something to note. Kind of the big advantage, aside from color coding sizes, the take it easy tool finder stuff, it's actually just padded. If you're like me and you're used to like using old school Bondus stuff at work, when you do that and you like run your knuckles into it, it's cold, it's hard, and not the most comfortable thing. This sort of mitigates that a little bit. So the pouch is also nice as well. And if you're on the fence about Vera, or you've never always wanted to try it, this is a great time to do it. You can probably, if you're very, very patient, get that for less than 33%. Vera, of course, has really nice quarterly sales. You typically see those flyers in with your KC tool order. But that is what I would advise there. So, moving on, 40% off. That's actually a really good buy on the Colos. This thing is ridiculous. You've seen me bring it in. It is going to be a hit or miss item. Okay, you're not going to set the world on fire with a tooth count. That said, that's probably not what you were wanting to do when you essentially have a sledgehammer. And the little wand looking piece right here, that actually plugs in right there, and you can essentially extend the handle by that farther. And then the cool thing is, unlike other competitors, you've got like if you were really monkeying, like if you had a 4-post lift or something and you're doing suspension stuff, you can come in and instead of just hanging off the back of the handle like you typically would, you can actually grab this and this at the same time. Sounds dumb, but you know, if you're thinking like I am, it makes sense. The other place this would make a ton of sense is if you do anything with like frames, or I'm talking like super heavy equipment, whether you're a technician or maintenance type of a deal. If you frequently find yourself with like 3/4 or larger sized fasteners and you know you're trying to get it through the frame, you know, and the piece that you're attaching, sometimes it needs a little caressing, and you can usually caress that really well with something like this. So it sort of replaces the hammer, but like I said, the ratchet is not going to set the world on fire. But at the same time, it's pretty strong. It's just a low tooth count, right, compared to some of the other offerings. This is a key to release the handle. There are soft faces here, so you're not going to like mar up the finish. And then that is a belt pouch where you can actually hang the whole thing. So don't want to say too much more on that. I will say it's cool. It's something you could use in self-defense. It's a conversation piece, but it's one of those things. It's cool to have and say that you have it and maybe use it occasionally, but that's probably going to be like 60% of you, and then 40% of you, that would actually be something that's like insanely handy and you would use it all the time. So take that with a grain of salt. That said, it is a fantastic price right now. So if you were on the fence with it, this is obviously a great time to pick it up. Coming in next, we have the Vera Joker wrench set, right? Let's see here. I think I see an arrow there, so these would be ratcheting ones. They don't have the switch. If these had a switch, the price would probably be double that. That said, I do have the 4-piece set of ratcheting jokers. I actually really like them. A lot of people complain, you know, they're too thick or this or that. The Take It Easy tool finder's present. The wrench itself is performed well. The ratcheting function is solid in my opinion. As best I know, that's entirely made in the Czech Republic, not Taiwan. Don't hold me to that. But so many times I have people hit me up. They're like, hey, where can I get ratcheting wrenches that aren't made in Taiwan? That's very hard to do, especially on a budget. But I've used those very, very regularly, and I've been happy with them. I think 10, 13, 17, 19 is all I've got. But I have no complaints. So also an unsung hero of that, the top end of the Joker, which that's available on the standard wrench as well, it'll actually hold your fasteners. If you hate that or if it's in the way, you can of course take it off, but it's very cool in my opinion. So 32% off. Tool of the day would probably be about that, maybe a little cheaper. And then a Vera quarterly promotion might be the way to go. But again, if you were on the fence, fantastic time to try it out. This right here, I do believe, is the greatest quarter drive spinner handle that I own, that I've ever had. It's Stabilo's 3K, which I happen to be a big fan of. And it obviously, you've got a quick release on the end, but it basically just allows you to create your own nut driver. You can put a bit adapter on there if you want to. It's a very versatile tool. These are typically once or twice a year they'll do a pretty big promotion on these. Sometimes it's a deal if you buy something, you can get that thrown on fairly cheap. But if you don't own anything from Stavilla and you've wanted to pick something up from Stavilla, this thing, provided you do anything quarter drive, you know, if everything you do is huge, massive, you know, if you're like working on tracks on tanks, this may not mean much to you, but for everyone else, it is a really, really good deal. Again, note though, that's not even on sale. This is their standard price. So keep that in mind. But again, this becomes a deal where if you're sitting, maybe you pick this up and you need free freight, throw it on there. that type of a deal, right? Similarly, if you're like really close, maybe you buy this and the Vera screwdriver and you are like $18 away from a t-shirt, throw that on there and the t-shirt's basically worth it plus free freight, right? But absolutely love that handle. I would highly recommend it. Keep in mind though, if you're patient, you don't have to have it. You can probably get it cheaper at some point. Up next, I actually, believe it or not, do have this as well. Which so many screwdrivers has come in over the years, and you probably lose track of it. But this is a fantastic deal. You get Veeha's Pico finish in there, in the pouch, and then you get a 5-piece set for the price point. That's a really good deal. Keep in mind, tool of the day or a big deal from Veeha, it would be a little cheaper than that. But if you've wanted to pick up Veeha drivers, this is a really good set. It gives you a little bit of everything. You get the pouch as well. Not that bad of a deal. I think, don't hold me to this, I believe this is the set that came with the Special Casey Tool Veeha sticker. It's still in the picture here. Used to be that right there is the only way you could get that, right? I think now they do sell it individually, but very, very good deal. As you can see, 7 reviews, 5 stars, and I would recommend that as well. Right here, this is the Ultra Driver. This, think of it along the lines of the James Bond driver. You know, are you a Vera person? Are you a Veeha person? Does the person you're picking this up for Christmas love red and black? Are they Chicago Bulls fans? Do they love all things green? You know, that's kind of what it comes down to. Now, there is one caveat here, and this is important that I tell you. Actually, no, this is not the Ultra Driver. This is the pop-up, so that is apples to apples. If you see the Ultra Driver, it uses special 2-sided bits. That's why with an Ultra Driver, this would be 26 pieces instead of 13. This will use standard bits, and the Vera will use standard bits. The Ultra Driver uses double-sided bits. This I do have, though, either way. And I actually really like it. I have one of them, and it is in my desk drawer at work. It typically comes in handy when I have to fix the boss's chair, which is a hex plug, which I have in there. And then I also have a square head for the screen fasteners, right? Screens, I'm talking window screens in that case. So again, do you like Veeha? Do you like Vera? Which one do you want to try? Do you want to save $6? So on and so forth. Take it to town. Up next, right here, Veeha's color-coded SAE ball-end hex key set, 13 pieces. Do we have it? Of course we do. And a relatively recent acquisition. Now, where this is going to differ from Vera, this is a coating. This is, I believe, powder coated, right? It's not the plastic sleeve. I've not had these as long. I've probably used them 5 or 6 times, I would say. I love them. I have 0 complaints on them. Obviously, how well will they hold up over time? I don't know. Only had them a couple of months. But if you hate the plastic sleeve, or you're just like, everyone has Vera's, Hex Plus, let me try something different. 25% off. Only way you're going to get a better deal is like on one of the big deals, so keep that in mind. But the counterpart right here, the metric set, note it is a lot cheaper. That's because you're not getting as many pieces, of course. So these two would pair very, very well, make a great stocking stuffer, great gift, great acquisition for yourself. If you need them, get them. It's a good value. If you can wait, maybe you'll see them on the big deal soon. Who knows? But there we go. I would recommend that as well. Now, right here, this is the Vera Craft Form Plus slotted in Phillips set with the rack. The racks, they're not a big deal. They're cheap. They're plastic, but they're actually really cool. In the orientation, you see it there. You can hold like 5, 6, 7 screwdrivers, maybe 9 actually. I think it depends, but they're all the same. But then on the flip side, where you kind of see that little slot, you can stand that up like a book, and it'll hold precision drivers too. You can get the stands themselves for like $2.50. Like I'm talking $2.50. I own several of those as well. The one rack I had that came with the set was with the yellow chisel drivers. These should be laser tips. Again, great gift. If you've always wanted to try Vera drivers, go for it. Take it to town. This right here, I now own 2 of them. It's my favorite. I have since found other companies with the same design, so I'm sure this is like something made in Taiwan type of a deal. The magnet itself has a nice coating on it, so it's not going to scratch up your paint. if it looks funky, it is funky, but that's also why I like it. You get more depth on that side. Typically what I do is I throw this on the firewall or the inner fender, depending on what I work on. I also have one that's like basically just permanently attached to my big toolbox. And at this price point, I will be acquiring my third and possibly fourth. So would I recommend it to you? Yes. Again, especially the teal, it's either you're going to love it or you're going to hate it, but it's definitely different. Catches your eyes, which is what you want. If this was black, there's a chance you could leave it under the hood. It stands out. I can't say enough good about it. And at that price point, that is a steal. It is Hazet's, which typically you pay like super premium. It's the most expensive German brand in my opinion, price wise. But this again, super good deal. I mean, for 16 bucks, you're like competing with, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Napa, maybe like high-end Harbor Freight even. And it's just a great product. Right here, a Vera bottle opener. I'm not a big fan, but I know a lot of you are. And at that price point, it's probably the time to get it. The handle will be good. It's actually a pretty good quality. I believe the one I got in the Advent calendar would be roughly the same. So it's a nice piece, especially if I know a ton of people collect these. Autobahn Dan, guy's got like every single bottle opener I think I've ever seen. And apparently, like I said, that's a really big deal. So a ton of people collect them. And at the price, cannot argue. Coming down, we've covered this guy, the Filo automatic wire stripper. Do we own it? Yeah, of course we've got the red dragon. See it? Now that I said dragon, it's stuck in your head if you missed that video. 37% off. That is a time to buy. Typically anytime over 35, if you wait this out or, the stars in line, you might save a penny or two more. But at that price point, I have no issues telling you that now is the time to get it. I haven't used it as frequently as I thought I would, but that's just because I use like the really cheap ones and I love them and I've used them for years. And every once in a while I'll bust that thing out just because I think about it, but it's a great wire stripper. It's just I'm so accustomed to using my little, like 1999 ones that for some reason work well. So that's what I do. But again, this is a super good buy. If you strip a ton of wires or even wanted to try something in this style, do it. I don't believe you will be disappointed. This right here, I don't own. That's right. It's one of the few items that we haven't brought in. And that said, it's actually really tempting. Price point is pretty fair, I would say. And what you're getting, it's a pretty nice case, I believe. I don't know if it's plastic or metal. We'd have to examine it in further detail. You can see the foam cutout shows your tools. Get a pretty nice socket set there, but the main draw to me, of course, is going to be their, hybrid ratchet. You get some bits in there as well. 313, it's kind of a tough pill to swallow, but if you love Vera or you've been looking for a socket set like this, keep in mind it is only metric. I know it looks like there's a lot of sockets there, but metric only in that case. Looks like it'll have quarter, 3/8, everything. So interesting piece right here. How many of these do we have? Probably 4 or 5. And it's one of those things. If you ever get to like, $1.99 away from free freight, just get one of these. Why do I like them? One, they're cool. Of course, aviation. It kind of looks good with a Charger dash. Because sort of inspired from a cockpit of a fighter plane. But the other thing is just they stick out, the key tag, right? If you were to drop the keys to whatever in the grass or in the shop or somewhere, good luck finding it, right? Hopefully you have a magnet running around behind you. But with this, it sticks out like a sore thumb, and that's what I like about it. The flip side, of course, has the Stavilla logo. So pretty nice piece. $230. Note, it is not even on sale, but it is one of those things. It's a great gift. It's super useful. Whatever you need to justify it, I recommend that. This right here, do we have it? Of course, this is a set that I referenced. If you were on the fence with Vera, these sadly do not have their laser tip, which is a huge selling point, but these are chisel drivers. Unlike a lot of companies that have a striking cap screwdriver, Vera actually calls these a chisel driver, and they encourage you to use them as chisels, and I have done just that. The one thing that sort of ticked me off when I got it, this little guy, it is not a chisel. It doesn't have the striking cap, which I realize is small, but that just kind of irked me. As much as that bothers me, I've actually used this a ton. Actually, out of the whole set, the smallest one is what I've used the most. And what I've used it for, like 98% of the time, is to release clips on wiring harnesses. It's like the perfect size. So it's not a total loss. Keep in mind, this will not have the laser tips. But if you've wanted to try Vera's handles, I would honestly recommend this set, and then buy, depending on where you are, Phillips or Pawsey, whatever your most common, Robertson if you're in Canada. Um, Go to town in that range, which of course Pawsey and Phillips would get laser tips, right? But these are pretty good little set. 32% off. You can do a little bit better than that, but you would be waiting a long time. Pick this up, check out the rack, have fun with it. Beat the snot out. I mean, literally, I know it's Vera, but use that as your beater set. Up next, these, do we have them? Of course we do. This was something KC Tool sent out quite some time ago, and I actually really like them. 42% off. You cannot go wrong there. This is from Ghidorah. I believe that this will be with Ghidorah. One of the things I don't like is that they alternate. Like, you never know if you're going to get like the really nice blue textured grip or you're going to get something red. I don't like their red. I love their blue. I wish they would just stick with their blue. Doesn't remind me of channel lock. It's a superior grip. It's not plastic dipped. It's textured. If this is the same handle as what I have on my pair, it's perfect. If you're like, man, these Cobras up here, they're just too expensive, or like he said, they're not even on sale. Well, get your mini Cobras, right, for 30 bucks. And then look at that, you're getting the 10-inch Plier for 30 bucks as well. If it would be your first Ghidorah tool, this is a great one. I absolutely love mine. I use it all the time. If you watch the Ram Revival, you'll see them all over the place. Fantastic tool. Up next right here, NWS. 25% off. You're not saving quite as much as on the Fantastico. Do we have this? You betcha. And again, if maybe you've got like the Veeha bi-cuts, or maybe you've got the Knipex super cutters and you don't want to pick these up, try these out. Because again, the more people that I can get to use the NWS handle, I feel the more people will back me up and say, like, man, that's a really good grip. I love it. It's so unique. And for me, like I always tell you, I tend to use needle nose pliers the most. It works out really well. Right here, do we have those? Actually, we do. One of the early items I brought in. Why did I bring them in at that time? Well, number one, I wanted to try them. But number two, and most important, the ones I had, there's a lot of these that look the same, so these could be different. But the ones I picked up were able to do open barrel terminals. When you start trying to do open barrel stuff like OEM factory wiring stuff, it's really hard to find the dies for your like crimper, like your ratcheting crimpers. And it's really hard to find standard ones like this that do open barrel terminals. These do it. That was a huge selling point. And if you note, these are not on sale. So I think I got these probably, I want to say 24 to 29. There was a sale. Knipex, they don't really advertise it like Vera does and sends out the flyers, or Veeha sending out the emails all the time for the big deal. Knipex has sales quite frequently, and again, that's why if you come up here and you click the drop down and you go to sale, always do that. Go through it and see what you find, because there's a lot of good stuff tucked away, like maybe these for 25 bucks instead of 40. So that said, I have used these quite a bit. I've cut a lot of screws with them. I've stripped a lot of cable. I've done a lot of 16 to 18 crimps with them. A very solid tool in my opinion. So I recommend them. I just warn you, you can get them a little bit cheaper than that, and you probably won't have to wait too long. So coming in next, the 916 HP. Oh, how I love thee. This is probably one of my favorite ratchets ever. The only real downfall to it, in some cases it's a pro, in some cases it's a con, this is not a quick release. So you'll either like that, or you need to add that to your arsenal. Maybe there's like one job you do all the time where you're bumping the quick release. For me, that happened earlier this week when I was taking some motors off pallets, and the quick release button just kept hitting the junction box and ejecting the socket, and it would go into neutral and stuff like that. So there is an advantage there, but seriously, this is their hyperfine. They've expanded the range. You now got 1/4 3/8 bit driver, everything. This is sort of the one that started it all. This is absurdly strong. This is one of those ratchets you would like have to try really, really hard to break, and you'd probably fail and hurt yourself trying to break it. It's a fantastic ratchet. You'll see me use it all the time, and there's a good reason for that. I love it. 31% off. You can actually do a little better than that sometimes, but I don't want to tell you not to buy it now because that's a super good deal, and this is Hazet. Again, you've got like your premium, your super premium, and your ultra premium in terms of price tiers. This falls into that category, and this is, again, one of the best ratchets I have ever used. Cannot recommend it enough. This right here, do we have it? Shockingly, no. There's been so many times I've nearly bought this thing, but I've never done it. That might be something that I have to bring in pretty soon because, again, 26% off, making it $13.99. Pretty solid deal. I am familiar with that handle, like it, don't love it type of a thing, but a lot of times with a bit holder, there's like added heft or it's a little bit bulkier. So it would be something I would be interested in exploring. Right here, we've got the Stubby 8-piece set double-ended wrench right there. Double opened end, we should say. We've got that. It's one of the first wrench sets I brought in. Note, that is not on sale either. This is something you can typically find on sale, but the wrench roll, it's very compact. It's very nice. If you're needing like just a nice basic set of metric wrenches and you don't care about box end or you just need them to be open end, can't really go wrong, especially at that price, even when it's not on sale. These are some of the nicest wrenches I've ever owned or used. And of course, I have my personal preference for box end. But again, if you maybe do primarily SAE and you think, oh, you just need a couple of these and I want a nice set, can't go wrong there. So this right here, we've got Vera's, let's see here, is that a 12-piece set for electronic applications? I think I have one Vera precision driver. It's not bad. I think it might be a chip lifter. Don't hold me to that. But I don't have a ton of experience with them. I've got primarily Veeha stuff for my precision drivers and a Philo set we brought in long ago. But at that price point, if the sizes match with what you need, whether that's watches, sunglasses, computers, RC, whatever you're doing, check the sizes. If it matches, that's actually a really good value, and you get a pretty decent case. So that'll be a perk if, say, you're going to a buddy's house and you're going to help him build something. Factor that in because, you know, it is part of the price and it could be very, very useful as opposed to throwing them in like a plastic bag or something stupid like that. So, moving on now, man. This is going to be a long video, isn't it? Right here, the Stubby hook and pick set. Now, it's important to note these would be what those of us in America call minis. These aren't like the full size, like let's get this 6-inch radiator hose off type of picks. These are like small picks. These are like let's release the clips on the wiring harness size picks. And do I have them? I have 2 of them. I have actually I have 4, but 2 of them are duplicates. So I've got the straight one and then I've got the 90-degree bend. And I plan to pick up the other 2. And you're thinking, well, hey, why do you have 4? I don't believe I've released the video, and I may not have even filmed anything. But I was bringing these to work to do clips on a panel. For some reason, they changed the panels. It's really stupid. But bottom line, it's an asinine setup that I have to deal with now. And I'm having to use mirrors. And my hat falls off as I look down on everything. But bottom line, they work really well. I like them. This comes with a pouch, kind of similar to what you see there with the file set. You actually save money if you buy the picks individually, but they don't have the pouch individually. So if the pouch is important, get the set. If the pouch is not important, pick up the picks individually. You save like 10 to 12 bucks. Also important to note, these are not on sale in the slightest. So that said, they're a great value. I think the picks are like $8 or so a piece standalone, so keep that in mind. But do I recommend them? Absolutely. In fact, I plan to pick up the other two at some point in time, kind of throw on items to get my free freight. Up next is a set of warding files from Stubby. I have a Ghidorah set similar to this. So these are probably the really, really small, like locksmith type files. That's actually a really good price on them. I think when I got the Ghidorahs, these were probably quite a bit more, or I might have gone that route. But Stubby files, if you do anything finite, precision-based stuff, I think is a great deal. Coming in next, we got some diagonal cutters, 6.3 inches from Knipex. Would I recommend them at that price point? Absolutely. 41% off is a great deal. Do I own those particulars? I don't believe we do. I think I might have that size in their classic Knipex grip now. I have gotten to where I do not like plastic dipped handles. And if I could get that in their textured one, which I actually, spoiler alert, like better than their 2-component as well, might do it. But if you've never used Knipex stuff and you need some cutters, that's a great price. Get them. You're not going to be disappointed. Speaking of not being disappointed, even though that's only 22% off, these things are stupid handy. And it's actually really high quality. They're bigger than the picture would lead you to believe. This is a type of thing, if you were to buy these, you can throw them in there. If you were to buy the Vera Tool Check Plus at the top, I think, don't hold me to it, but I think it would actually fit in that bag as well. There's just a ton of stuff you can put in there. You can put socket sets, whatever. Cobras fit in it. It kind of just becomes like a compact tool bag, and if you put a couple of these inside a soft-sided pouch, you could scrunch it down, save your space. At $12, I think they're well worth it. Coming in next, we got a Craftform Compact Ratcheting bit driver. Think of this as a James Bond without the extension, the pop-out extension. Same bit holder, it ratchets. Decent price. Have I used it? No. Can I recommend it? No, not since I've not used it, right? But I can say if you're on the fence, you're looking for like a German ratcheting screwdriver, that's a pretty good deal. Right here, this is a Ghidorah's Pliers wrench. Now, I've got one of their Pliers wrenches. It's in their 2-component handle, and absolutely love it. This, however, is a stupid good buy right now at 43% off. Just note, again, will you get the blue textured handle or will you get the red dipped? It's kind of a crapshoot. Sometimes KC Tool even advises that when you go to the specific product page. Let's actually take a look. TC, I guess, would indicate that. JC, if I'm thinking correctly, would be their 2-component, which that's what I would do. Right here, check it out in bold. Please note the Ghidorah is selling the red dipped handle in the US. Yeah, this is what I have. I highly recommend those, but the problem is, look at the price point there, right? 78 versus 59. Is the 2-component handle worth it? If you love black and blue, maybe. Otherwise, functionally, it's going to be the same. And the good thing is a lot of you are actually going to prefer red. So take advantage of the savings and go to town. Right here, a German Tools classic, the Philo wood handle drivers. If you love wood handle drivers, this is, in my opinion, the best ergonomic designed wood handle ever. And in addition to that, if I'm remembering correctly, almost all of them have hex bolsters, which is great. And similarly, they are all striking cap. The tang goes all the way through to the back, and there's like the leather cap. So it's actually a very robust, multifaceted set. And at that price point, get them. If you've waited, buy them. If you love wood handles, if your grandpa or your uncle or your dad or your aunt that's into crafting said, when I was a little girl, we'd get wood handle drivers and they were way better. Get her this, she'll be happy. She will love you. You will be the best niece or nephew ever. So, again, highly, highly recommend those. Right here, if you're in need of stubbies and you're a Vera person, pretty solid little set, especially at that price point. You got to think stubbies are typically going to be around $10 a piece. So getting 5 of them for $25, that's a go. I only have one Vera stubby. We'll eventually expand more on that. But again, if you're a Vera person or you just need this expansive set of stubbies, Pretty solid deal. Right here, this is not a terrible price. The problem I have with this type of stuff, I think they all come from the same place in Taiwan. And it sort of just comes down to what brand do you want and what color scheme do you prefer. These, okay, I take that back. These are actually made in Germany, which that makes the price a little bit more, yeah, well, I'll be danged. So, yeah, if you're looking for a set not made in Taiwan, here you go. That makes those a bit more desirable. The issue for me, sort of old school SAE, right? So I'm not really getting huge value there, but not bad nonetheless. Whackin', that's a music festival right here. And it's similar to an Easter set, and that thing is stupid handy. Actually, you know what? That's, I think, where I have the Vera precision one, and it comes in super handy. Like, I use it for like toilet paper rolls, towel racks, all the hidden hardware stuff. There's multiple sets of these. I would base it on what bits are included, which handles you want. This is not going to be like a full-size handle. It's going to be like a little smaller, which actually comes in really handy. But Vera has a ton of those. Make sure you check it out before you commit to it. Get the one that's best suited for you. Right here, this is sort of their hex equivalent in Torx. All right. And I gotta say, I do believe we have these. They have been fantastic as well. I think they've got a long set and a short set. So depending on your torque requirements, I say torque in that case, not Torx, like how tight you have to make stuff. Factor that in, but that's a pretty solid price. It's going to be tough to find something more compact, more outfitted for a better price. Let's go to town. This right here, I was tempted to buy it the first time I saw it. I believe it's made in China. Let's check. Taiwan, so that's good. It's very, very tempting. I mean, it's been in my cart numerous times. This price is really good, but I've just never pulled the trigger on it, so I can't really comment. But again, take a look at the bits. A couple of them are duplicates, like your more common use sizes, so factor that in. But if you're on the fence, this is a really good time to get it because 42% off is a great deal. Coming in here, you've just got an assortment of Vera screwdrivers. Look at the sizes, see what they are, see if you need them or want them. Go from there, like, is it better for you to get the chisel drivers up here? Is it better to get, like the standard ones? I don't know what you're going to be doing, but, if this fits your bill, that's a great price on them. Right here, this is actually a really solid deal as well, especially if you're familiar with Vera's ecosystem and you love their handles. A VDE set for $32, that's pretty solid, I have to say. So I don't think those are going to be their slim ones. I think they're going to be standard, so factor that in. But nonetheless, great price, especially if you're a Vera person. Right here, Veeha's inch and metric combination wrench sets. That's actually a really good buy, even at just the 25% off. I've got a set of their ratcheting wrenches. Number one, the wrench rack. Okay, out of all the ratcheting wrenches I bought and all the wrench sets I bought, my favorite wrench rack remains the Veeha version. You can hang it, you can carry it. It's got a wire retainer, like a metal rod. It's very robust. The wrenches slide in place really well. I think it's even padded. Like, I go out and I buy the X frame and I get a plastic tray. It's like super thin. I go out and I get, the Veeha ratcheting wrenches, which, yes, they are made in Taiwan. I believe these would be too. But the wrench rack itself is super impressive. If you're needing to outfit a vehicle or a roll cart or whatever, or your stuff got stolen or it's just completely worn out and mismatched, that's actually, again, a really good deal. So the Tubix right here, relatively new product from Knipex. Currently a good deal. Do we have one? Maybe. Yeah, you have to watch future videos for that. But if you're in the market and you're a Knipex fan, give it a go, right? That's how I'll leave that one. Right here, this, buy it. Buy it now, buy two of them. Fantastic. It's a little, if I had one knock on it, it would be like the weight distribution, sort of top heavy, which you could expect. It's not German made. It's going to be Taiwan, I believe. I think Chris Kass, Tool Aficionado, I can tell you the factory it comes down from. It could be Germany, but he sent something to me a while back and it was pretty much, I can't remember, it was some strange Strange name. I don't care where this thing came from. This could come from my neighbor's house. It could come from China. It could come from Harbor Freight. I don't care. I love that thing. Absolutely love it. And at $18, it really doesn't matter because it's priced, like something cheap. And granted, I haven't had it a long time because it's new, but I absolutely love it. I have nothing negative to say aside from if you want to like critique the weight distribution. So go to town, buy it. Great for Christmas. Great gift for yourself. Really, really good ratcheting screwdriver. Again, the Vera ratcheting screwdriver up here, $43. I'm going to buy 2 of these Filos. I mean, that's just me. Again, 37% off. You cannot go wrong. Right here, this is an Ultra driver. It has a bonus. It's a stupid good buy. I mean, like, stupid good buy. The downside, and a lot of people get frustrated with the Ultra driver when they realize this, is the bits are double-sided. That's why this holds like 26 bits, whereas the same style pop-up would have 13, because these are double-sided. If you're invested in the Ultra driver, or you're looking like for the ultimate and compact, bit storage, you cannot go wrong. That price point is absurd. In fact, I think that's less than their pop-up, isn't it? Yeah, it's $4 less than that. There are bit refill packs. So the way they do the Ultra driver, they've got like tradesmen, industrial, servicemen, HVAC is a relatively new one. Check those out. You can get the bit packs pretty cheap. It's like a refill type of a thing. And you basically can then custom tailor this to what you want. So if you know that you use T25 only, throw out all the other Torx, stock a couple of T25 bits. If you use, for whatever reason, like 1 metric hex and 2 SAE hex sizes, tailor it how you need to. Super versatile. I highly recommend that. Again, a perfect gift as well. Right here, the Hazet measuring tape. Do we have that? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But main thing, if you're sitting there and you're rocking, say, classic Stanleys, if you've got some Milwaukee tapes, if you prefer a Comalon, whatever, this is a nice little metric hybrid. I believe it's made in China, but it is Hazet. It's a classic design. It's going to have metric stuff as well. So at the price point, can't really do too bad. Coming up next, do I own these? Actually don't. I actually don't have any VDE stuff from NWS. If you need VDE pliers, go this route. Note that's not a super good savings. But if they fit the bill, pull the trigger. I have pliers with the same head, just not a VDE handle. And I actually tend to like NWS. They're designed very well, in my opinion. Maybe not the hardness or durability as the others, but the price point, you kind of have to factor that in. So keep that in mind. All right, here, Vera, we've got a little rapid adapter. Not quite sure what is going on for the price point to be there. I assume there must be a lot of stuff behind that latch or something. There looks like there's a bit ratchet too. But check the bits if you need it. Go to town, compare everything, call it good. All right. Right here, same thing. VDE insulated Phillips square. Okay, so that's going to have squares. Again, check that stuff. See if you use it size-wise. Take it from there. Buy this. This little kit is so good. I don't think the video on it has released yet, but before that video, I mean long before then, you've seen this used in the RAM Revival. If you watch those videos, it was absolutely perfect for all the dash work, right? Like taking the dash out, everything was like 8mm this, 10mm that. It was perfect. And this right here is their premium, like top of the line quarter drive ratchet. This little guy, I haven't used it but maybe once or twice. It's super heavy actually, which I did not expect. I think it might be Taiwan, but everything else is German. It's a great way to get Stavilla sockets and bits. The ratchet is basically worth the price of this kit. I mean, you could say maybe $90 if you like, but then when you price out Stavilla sockets, This pays for itself. Where this came from, where it originates, this was their advent calendar from last year, and some of them didn't sell, so they just basically stripped them down out of those packages, put this together. That's why it's limited edition if you're curious. And again, I have it. I don't think the video's out yet, but you should be seeing it pretty soon. And most importantly, I've used the snot out of this. I absolutely love it. The value is actually really, really good if you were to price this stuff out individually. So it's kind of an advent calendar, which is typically a good value, and then it's discounted. So can't go wrong in my opinion. Heyco wrenches. This is a stupid goodbye. I love Heyco wrenches. I don't know why so many people sleep on them. I guess, it's like Stavilla and Hazet and Gador kind of take the cake, right? I've never used this type of a wrench. I do have their 3236 open, which I use for clutch fans. And then the rest I have from Heyco is the Max line. I love the Max line. If they would make the Max line in Imperial SAE fractional sizes, I would buy them in a heartbeat. Currently, they don't even do the Max line in a set. I have to buy them individually. If you've watched my tool hauls, every once in a while you'll see like this random Max line wrench appears. I slowly build my own set. Absolutely love them. Really, really good value. Coming in right here, do we have these? Of course we do. Now, VIT, this is their new color scheme. Some of you are going to love it. Some of you will not. Actually, I don't. I thought this was their Torx driver set. I didn't read it, although I do think I have this anyway. So this is not the Max Pro Plus. The Plus would have sort of like your tacky grabbing pad, right? Sort of your felt extra grip. If you hate that, this is the way to go. If you love that, this is not the way to go. But this is sort of the closest thing we have to a modern tri-lobe design. And personally, I really, really like them. This is a very good set. The price point is awesome. If you've never had VIT drivers, or maybe you've got like Matco or something, this is the same thing but way better price. And just saying, this is something I would highly recommend actually. So coming in next, this is on the big deal. And actually, now that I think about it, some of these others might be this time. But it's a pretty solid buy. This is something I was on the fence about many, many times before like the Halder Picard thing started here at KC Tool. This is actually still tempting to pick up. I think it comes in a case. And the price is actually really good because these faces aren't exactly cheap a lot of the time. So keep that in mind. If you're needing a soft face mount, the way this works is with thread in on either side. And then if you found that you hated all the faces except the blue one, buy another blue one and put it on the flip side, right? The advantage, of course, is if you need something like super soft so you don't mar the finish on something important, have that on one side and then have your like abrasive plastic one that's just going to beat the snot out of everything and mar and nick it up on the flip side, and go to town that way. But at the price point, even just 25% off, I think it's a good deal. So 26, 25, whatever. All right. Right here, I have not used any VIT precision drivers. That said, the case and the color scheme sells me on them. If I needed these, I would not hesitate to pick them up. Should be fantastic based on what I've experienced with their full-size drivers. This right here, it's kind of one of those weird things. You don't use it all the time, but there's every once in a while, maybe once or twice a year, this thing pays for its $12 self. All right. I've showcased this in a tool haul, but it's one of those things. It's just like there's a magnet on one side, you flip the light on, and then you can see under the dash, down in a panel, whatever it might be. Not going to use it all the time, but the one time you need it, it pays for itself. So, especially if you're like maybe grabbing your first pair of Cobras or something, throw this on there. Don't think you will be disappointed. This right here, I want to say is their brand new one. Don't hold me to that. Let's click it and see if it says something about November 1st. Yeah. Oh, good Lord. Oh, well. I nearly bought these, and I wish I would have. This is new since the last time I told you there was new stuff, so apparently these are doing very, very well. Knipex sometimes, like, over-delivers, and, like, the deadlines, their estimated time frames are exceeded in a good way, but Oh, this is disappointing because I was going. This the big thing here. They've had stuff like this on the market for a while, but if you note, nothing on there is metric. Okay, this is like, oh hey, these American people actually really like our stuff, and a lot of them don't understand what these dots and commas are. Maybe we should use like the American wire gauge for them, which typically, it's like both, like both systems are represented, but this is something that I had planned to put on my order, and I wish I would have. This was a deal that was going to come out in November, like November 1st, and I think they showed up like a week earlier type of a deal. And I was just always going to stick them on. I did not know this had, oh man, been changed. No reviews on them yet, but yeah. So apparently they're doing quite well. I was going to use those when we wired up some stuff here in future videos. So that's disappointing, but in a good way. It's not like negative Nancy stuff, but and you know me at this point in time, the crosshatch. I mean, it's everything I could ask for basically, and now we have to wait. So that sucks. That really sucks. That said, pretty good price right there. And if you're like, oh my lord, put them on order. As soon as they come in, they'll ship them to you. But yeah, I would have recommended that, and I was looking very forward to using them. I didn't know I was going to have to wait a couple of months, so that's unfortunate. This we do not have. It's kind of a cool little gimmicky thing. Note it's not on sale. It's a great stocking stuffer gift, or again, just like a funky high-vis keychain with added functionality. I assume it would be good. Don't hold me to that, but cool little product. Right here, you've got the Halder Hatchet full steel handle leather grip, which is going to be amazing. Wooden gift box. Have I used it? No, based on my leather-handled Halder or Picard deal. It's very impressive, but Hatchet, not a huge deal for me. If that's up your alley, that's a pretty good price, and it comes in a cool gift box. So right here, Stavilla pliers are expensive. Note, these are not on sale, okay? Not on sale. So this is standard price. It's just kind of like stealthy little slip in here. I gotta say, they actually have a really good 2-component too, but I actually love their dipped texture as well. Something to consider. I mean, and again, check around. Use your noggin here. Come in, click this, go to sale, and see if you can find that, or go to Stavilla and scroll through based on that. And maybe find something in a smaller or bigger size for a better price, and go to town that way. Right here, the grip pliers. These are pretty solid. We've got quite a few of those. Need to do the follow-up video on that. But if you're wanting to try something different, go to town here. Still, in my opinion, the Gador design is just super good. These, however, have a really cool finish to them. So bottom line, for the price, not a bad deal. Right here, you got some more Vera stuff. Don't really know what it is. Check it if you want to. They're slipping in Ryan's favorite NWS Titans here. Titan finish is, of course, going to be sort of like the black kind of gray color, if you will, instead of the chrome finish. 32% off, though, so pretty solid deal. These are nice to have. You get the needle nose and you get the long reach cutters. So kind of a cool set. Again, if you go to like, let me come up here and show you. You can find all that stuff in staff picks. They have like stuff different people at KC Tool have sort of pieced together, thought that they worked well together. So right here, this is a great buy, a really, really good buy. 35% off. This is the Gador 2-component. I say 2-component because it's like Knipex's 2-component. This isn't exactly soft, or like comfort. People use that a lot, comfort grip. This is sort of more of like a 2-component grip. And if black and blue is your thing, that's a win. These are the polished heads, and then they're also sort of like your high power cutters. So super, super nice pliers, and again, that's a great price. If that's going to be your gateway into Gador pliers, can't really go wrong. Right here, you got another set of Vera stubbies. Again, pay attention, see what the sizes are, compare the prices, go to town. You'll know what to do. This right here, people sleep on these because they're not, you know, the yellow and black Filos, right? This is sort of like the step down from those. This is what I call the Frico. I'm sure it's pronounced like, you know, Frico or friction or something. But these are really, really good screwdrivers as well. And they're going to be priced less than the ergonomic ones, and or Urios, we should say. But if you're on a budget and you want to try Filo out and you're like, no, wood handle's not for me, get these. I don't believe you will be disappointed. You also get the hanging hole, which is a big deal for some of you. Coming in next, I don't have an axe like this. I can't really speak on it, but I do know 42% off is probably why it's out of stock. Had to get myself some lemon water there here at 2:28 a.m. And the Hazet bite box, that's going to be a pretty solid deal, but again, note it's not on sale, so my advice, wait. Coming in next, man, this is going to be a stupid long video. We got the Veeha pop-up with bonuses. Again, see what you like. My advice is either go this route or the Ultra Driver. Ghidorah spark plug brush, we've actually had that and we tested it and it tested beautifully. 32% off, get it. If you need a spark plug brush or just a general use brass bristled brush, this is something that's going to clean well. It's not going to tear up your finishes, and it's actually made quite nicely. So right here you got a holder, dead blow hammer, which is actually a pretty solid price. Note though, not on sale. Might maybe wait on that one. Same thing here. This is a Picard beautiful hammer, but it's not on sale. My advice is wait for tool of the day or find something similar that's maybe priced a little bit better and go to town there. Right here, the Simplex mallet. This is sort of what I have from them. And I went with obviously a different color scheme and everything, but that's a really good price. Again, pay attention here to the diameter of the head and then the weight, and couple that with what you want and what you need. Riveting hammer here with the gift box is a great deal. However, this is where the money's at for me. My first one of these was from Ghidorah. I've got one from Picard. It's an engineer's hammer. I absolutely love them. Again, they come in different flavors, different varieties, different weights, and that's going to dictate it. But I think I scaled them differently, but 200 and 300 grams, just a really nice all-purpose hammer. And as long as you're not like, you know, doing fencing and need to pull nails out, like having that tip end on stuff, super, super handy. Right here, this is pretty sweet. Note this is the roofing one and it's not on sale. So again, my advice is wait unless it's like the perfect gift for someone, you know. Again, if that's the case, go to Picard's tab, check all that stuff out. This I would highly, highly, highly recommend. These are going to be 7-inch diagonal cutters, but note 48% off. That is the time to buy. If you think, hey, that looks a lot like the NWS, that's because it is the NWS. NWS is who makes this. They just brand it for Filo, and they obviously use Filo's color scheme of yellow and black. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds there. Again, that, while it's multi-component handle, it's actually what I would consider comfort in that case because it's sort of soft, right? So bottom line, though, that's a stupid good buy for a really nice set of pliers. And then right here, don't have any experience with this guy, but it's interesting. I believe it would be made in China, and we will leave it at that. So this is stupid long. Let me make sure. Oh my, an hour and 6 minutes. Oh, geez. That's not what I intended to have happen, but thorough. I guess you can say it's thorough. We covered all of this for you. And it's 2:30 a.m., so I don't really have time to redo this. My apologies. I don't really even know what to say, but I will leave you with this. This is the holiday sale, okay? It's been active for a little while. It's going to be active through Christmas. The catch is you're probably thinking like, oh, well, yeah, that's cool. A lot of retailers are doing that where there's, you know, the early Black Friday sale, you know, and they just kind of extend it and, you know, maximize your savings because of the weird year and everything going on. That's nice of KC Tool to do that. And I agree. This is really cool, you know, to have access to these prices geez, almost like what, from the start of the month or something, and then all the way through Christmas. But you might be asking yourself, like, well, hey, some of this stuff I was interested in, but as you pointed out, like it wasn't on sale, and some of it was like super good buy, got to get it now. But what about Black Friday? Well, guess what? This is not the holiday sale. Is not KC Tools Black Friday sale. This is the inside info for you, right? So a lot of you will be running with the assumption, that's why I'm releasing this video Saturday, right? Today, so you know this in advance. There will be a Black Friday sale. What is on the Black Friday sale? What kind of savings can you expect? You'll have to check out KC Tools social media feeds or emails. I highly recommend you're on their mailing list. They don't send stuff out too often, but when they do, it must be really important, all right? And there will be a standalone Black Friday sale. So here is the holiday sale. You then have the Black Friday sale. When the Black Friday sale is said and gone, you still have the holiday sale. So that is pretty dadgum cool. And again, this is just kind of some of the stuff that's currently on sale, coupled in with some of KC Tools' favorites. And I would tell you more, but good Lord, this is too freaking long of a video, and like I said, I don't have time to redo this. So man, the good news is on a lot of this, like I said, I would say like at least 80% of this, if not more, we have first-hand experience with it, so we're rolling on that front. The problem is I made the video a lot longer. And I do apologize for that, but that way, if you're like, man, I wish somebody could tell me about these, or is that really, really good, or why is it so cheap? It must be a piece of trash. At least you have answers now, right? I mean, I feel like I'm a fairly good person to be asked about these things, since we do have experience with so many of them. And like I said, I wish it wasn't maybe quite as much experience, because we could have gotten this done in 20 minutes, which... time flies when you're having fun. I didn't really realize that until I glanced down in the corner of the screen and saw the clock. And then the recording thing really drove the nail in the coffin. So, with that said, we are just 5 days away from Thanksgiving, and then 6 or so away from Black Friday. Which again, that's when there will be another sale here on KC Tool, which you'll definitely want to check out. Main thing, I hope everybody is having fun, staying safe, staying happy, staying healthy. Can't really get sick in your own garage or workshop doing stuff with cool tools. So, I mean, hey, gotta factor that into everything too, right? So, that said, I gotta get this cranked out. I don't even know if it's gonna be ready by 9 because my internet is that bad. I've also got some more stuff I've got to do here before I go to bed, and then I'm hoping I can get up and make some significant progress on some stuff in the shop. So, and sadly, without the Knipex brand new wire strippers, because they're not available until February, so yeah. That's a hard pill to swallow, but you know what, let's see, what is tool of the day? Dun, 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 dun. It is the Black Giant drywall hatchet. Keep in mind here, like tool of the day, you're typically gonna see, not always, but typically 30 to 40% off. So any of that stuff that's on the holiday sale that wasn't on sale, put it on your wish list. When you're signed in, you'll have that option. You can always keep tabs of it. And my personal advice, again, always check tool of the day, whether you follow them on Twitter, Instagram, or just come to the website yourself and do it old school manual. Then you know that is where you get the best savings outside of manufacturer promotions and, of course, Black Friday, which is conveniently coming up. Anyway, I gotta go. I do apologize this is so long. I honestly don't have time. I mean, you saw me. We were here together. I honestly started this stuff at 1 a.m. and, I've got to edit it, and which luckily there's not a ton of editing to do, and then I've got to upload it, which might take a while. So that's that. If I could redo this and make it shorter, I would. I'm super tired. Like I said, I've still got stuff to do, but bottom line, this is the holiday sale, active now. It will be active after Black Friday, but there is a standalone Black Friday sale. So once more, shop, instant access to tool of the day. You can keep tabs on what's coming in. You got some of the staff favorites. You've got actual staff packages here. You've got the clearance section, which they touted the other day. You've got the sales section, which I always encourage you to check. But then right here is your important one right now, which is the holiday sale. Click that. It takes you to this page. You can find all these items. Throw them in your cart. And keep in mind, there's no rush. This stuff, all these prices will be honored and everything, just like tool of the day. But, you know, see what you need, see what you want. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. Hopefully somebody in the comments section can help you out. And pretty much everything I know, I've already told you. That's why the video is so long. So on that front, man, I do apologize. Like I said, it was a late night. You know, when a freight line shows up, you know, like 2.5 hours past closing time, that happens. So anyhow, hope everybody has a great Saturday. Hope you're all going to have a great Thanksgiving, good weekend. Hopefully some holiday time. Maybe you're off work or something for an extended period of time, and can have some fun, see some friends and family, and you know, all that good stuff. But my apologies, this was so long. Definitely not what I intended, but I don't have time to fix it, so we're just gonna roll with it. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Anything you want to talk about, feel free to throw it out down there in the comments section. Happy Thanksgiving, happy shopping. Hope you enjoy the holiday sale. And again, be ready, be prepared. You've got the Black Friday sale coming up too, so definitely check that out. Make sure you're following KC Tool on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever your preferred means of social media consumption is, or again, just on the website, whatever works. And with that said, thanks so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. Once again, I totally apologize for the length. I had no idea we'd gone. I kind of knew something was up when I started to lose my voice, but hey, better more information than not enough. So we'll end on that. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope y'all have a good weekend. I'll catch you back here for more from the shop or the computer. How about that? Have a good one.